You are now tuned in to StarCHaser Central, a podcast about Charles Hampton, music moments, and everything in between. I'm Sick Braxton.
And I am Mike D. Jackson.
How are you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you doing? I was gonna say you had your jaw hanging, but you good, you good, you good. You got your shit together. You feel me?
Yeah, I'm okay. As of today, we're recording on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. So for those who celebrate, happy Cinco de Mayo. Um, but other than that, I have nothing, actually. This is one of those days where I have nothing. I'm ready to pod, man.
I'm the same way because it's funny when you say that, like whoever celebrates, because I'm like, define celebrate. Of course,
Right.
people, oh, yeah, because I'm drinking, but it's like, bro, that's really not what it's about. I mean, technically, every holiday it's like, hey, who's going out drinking? I know I said earlier on Facebook today, I'm like, yeah, happy Cinco de Mayo, but why is it on a Monday? You know what I mean? So, like, at the same time, I don't know why I'm complaining because I know locally there's going to be people out there drinking. You know what I mean? People going to be, oh man, who's going to be out there? It's the same fucking 30 people, the same 20 to 30 people, that goes out every fucking day, bro. Just go out there. Just shut up and go out there. Stop acting like you want to see someone brand new in Dover. Come on out.
Yeah. Yeah, I say for those who celebrate, but like you said, no one ever does these holidays correctly. They never celebrate for the reason that they're actually supposed to be celebrated. They just choose it as a way to drink, which is wild because some of y'all drink every day. So it's just another day for you.
Like 420. You know what I mean? Like when people say, "Oh yeah, it's a happy 420," but then people are like, "Oh, well, I smoke every day." It's like when people drink every day, but then there's that whole stigma, and it's just like, man, like okay, whatever y'all want to do, I guess. Speaking of smoking, it's funny because I did say on IG earlier, I was like Cinco de Drinko, and then Charles replies, roll up and get higher. Charles, you know better. You know better. Come on, man.
Everybody just have a blast, man. I don't know what to tell you. But
In the
we're here to man,
meantime,
we're here to review a new tape this week, another tape for the Charles Hampton fans, the Star Chasers. And this week is one that you brought to the table, and it is the Excellence of Execution, also sometimes known as the Pink and Black Attack.
yes, sir. The excellence of execution, the pink and black attack. This project, I'll say, technically came out in around December of 2011, but this is older music. We'll talk about that a little bit later. This is one of those projects. Actually, we were supposed to do this episode a little while ago, and then of course, we had different ideas that came about. The names escape my head right now, but you know who you are. You requested this tape. We're reviewing it now. So special fan request, you feel me? Um yeah, so with this project, it's I'll be honest. I remember, a little bit about it, but just in passing. It's just one of those things where like I remember when it first came out. Actually, I don't really, because it's one of those things where I was like, what is that? You know what I mean? It's one of those type of
Mhm.
things when it came out, and like I heard it eventually, at some point, but I was just like, Um, okay,
Yeah.
but in 2011, this is around that time when, Charles is dealing with, well, depending in the point of 2011, but Charles getting arrested and all that type of stuff. So Charles, might not have been able to put out as much music as he wanted to. So it's like, hey, like, let me make sure I'm still feeding the fans with some quality content. So
I honestly don't remember this tape at all. And to be fair, right, 2010, 2011 was probably my first like drop off as far as like Charles music. Like I probably took a break around that time. So I probably wouldn't remember it right off the bat. But even as we went further, I just don't remember the fanfare for this one. It's a name that you would think would have brought a lot of emotion, like, oh wow, this is a great tape, just based off of the name. But I don't remember. Then when you get into the contents of it, it's like I've heard a lot of this just based off of just listening to other things. So it's an interesting one. Like you said, you probably don't remember the tape at all, but do you remember your first time listening to the tape?
kind of, it's going to be kind of like a mixed bag because like if I was to say, oh yeah, I remember this song because of this song, it's like no, I remember it because of another project or
Mhm.
I heard it previously. Um, maybe there's some songs I know I definitely heard because they're, they're synonymous with this tape. I'll say that.
Hmm.
Um, but when it comes down to, let's say if I was like, oh, I sat down and listened to it, how do I feel about it? I can't even tell you like oh, well, yay or nay type of deal. It's just like, the songs I heard them. You know what I mean? So like the stuff I heard, I'm like, okay, I heard that, heard that. The other stuff, I'm like, oh, this is okay. So something that's a throwback. Okay, cool. Never heard this before. So, but for you, I guess, what's your take on that?
I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. Like when I can't tell you the first time I heard this tape in full. I can only tell you that I've heard a lot of these songs. But if I say I heard it because of this tape, that'd be a lie. Because I'm not sure. I think I would say definitely at least 60 to 70%. I was like, I heard this somewhere else, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just when you're reviewing the tape, it's like, there's nothing. There came a point where I was like, oh, this isn't new. This isn't new. This isn't new for me. And we've done this podcast long enough where I'm like, I'm more excited about the stuff I haven't heard versus the stuff I have heard. So that was kind of the obstacle that I was dealing when we were doing this tape.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is the first time we've talked about this before. Like, I knew there's like other projects where we were like, are we going to cover this one or not cover this one? Because, it had one or two songs where it's like, oh, this is from something else. But this is, like you said, like half the tape is from other things.
Mm,
One thing that we can talk about, um, I know I seen two covers because there's two covers on here. I'm
mm,
not sure the one you're familiar with, but I remember the one I was familiar with on YouTube where it's like pinkish, bluish sky, and then like there's like a tree in the background or something like that. I remember that one, but I remember looking at it and being like, I like the picture, but at the same time, like I don't get excellence of execution or pink and black attack from that
right.
process. Then there's the other one where it's like that classic picture Charles with the head down, whatnot, and the headphones. And I'm
Yep.
like, well, yeah, pink and black, like that's like a simple picture, simple actual caption and whatnot. I'm like, okay, that works. I'm not sure if you've seen those two covers at all. There is one other cover I wanted to talk to you about, but I wanted your opinion on the other two.
Um, yeah, so I'm familiar with both. I think the one that I most notably remember is the one with the picture. I think that's just it fits the tape more, at least with the pink and black thing. I'm like you, I'm not understanding the excellence of execution one with the tree. Even if you try to look at it from just the first part, the excellence of execution, what does that have to do with a tree? At least with the other picture, pink and black attack, at least that's kind of more represented into the cover. Not to say that the tree one is a bad cover. I just don't think it might have been this one that we should have did it for. Um, I think Charles has some tape that he dropped recently, something tree. I forgot what it's called.
Learning tree, I think.
I think I think it is a learning tree, but wrestling has fucked up my mind because
I,
Jericho. I'm like, is that why I'm thinking that? But yeah, I think it is a learning tree. I feel like that would be a better representation of that, right? I think, just, hindsight being 2020. But yeah, I'm familiar with both. But if I had to choose, I'd do the hat one better.
you know what's crazy about that? Because, we're talking about, wrestling. And then if you guys aren't familiar, excellence of execution and also pink and black attack, that is synonymous with Bret Hart. And I'm surprised you didn't say it yet, but like, I'm pretty sure someone's like going to be like, oh man, Mike has those Bret Hart shirts and jerseys. He didn't wear it. That's exactly what you would want me to do. So I'm not doing it. I'm going back to the John Cena shit. You get nothing. You get nothing. No, but seriously though, in my head, I would be completely fine with him not using like a picture of Bret Hart or the Hart Foundation, for the excellence of execution, pink and black attack type of deal. But the it's on the archives, right? I'm sorry. This is not a cover. I'm not calling it a cover. It's like
Okay.
the third cover, but I refuse to call this a cover. You remember when I think it was Sega Hamilton.blogspot. Remember the cover for that one, that simple one where it's like a black
Yeah.
background and it's just
Hmm.
like Charles Hamilton, Sega Hamilton. So there's one for this excellence of execution. I swear to God, it was made by, was it Microsoft Art or whatever that shit's called? I swear to God, it was made like that, where I think the cover is like, I think the background was like white and then it's like Charles Hamilton with a border, like a black border. This is pink and black attack. Like, no disrespect, but listen, like a 6-year-old could have made that. Like, I swear, if you go in the archive and look it up, it's like, bro, this is not an art cover. I don't care what nobody says. No, no, that's not.
Or was made by that AI machine I told you about earlier today.
Oh no, no, that AI machine would have never been able to do that, bro. I mean, it could do it. It could easily do that, but it would. No, no.
Yo, that shit I sent you earlier today was crazy.
Yeah, that was wild. But that was a lot better than. I'm gonna show you the picture too, that cover. But I'm gonna when we're talking, like I said, I'm gonna send it to you while we're talking. You
All
can
right.
have your own opinion on that. But yeah, wow.
Excellent. Yeah, it's also a tongue twister. Excellence of Execution has technically listed 15 songs, but two of which are instrumentals, and one of which for sure we've seen on a different tape. The Warmth Hamiltonized, correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say that's on At Most I'm Just, maybe?
That's correct.
Yeah, so again, weird. This almost seemed like a fan compilation tape. How we used to get those Lucy ones, and it's people like put together. It wasn't necessarily albums, just a collection of songs, but this kind of has that feel to it because like there's no real connection to these songs at all. And then obviously you get the Speak No Louder instrumental, which we will talk about, I believe, as well. So 13 songs in total. How do we want to do this today? Did we decide? I think and originally we were just gonna do best three. Did you want to do all the songs?
Let's do all of them. I mean, for the ones that we already have talked about, I'll make a notation because like I have notes on basically saying, hey, this is
Yeah.
from this project or that project.
Cool.
And I want to say pretty much all the ones that we've already talked about, we've talked about it on a project that we've already done an episode of.
Mhm.
So just give our one or two statements about it, like, oh, it's on this project. We already reviewed it. You know what I mean? So
That sounds good to me. We do open with one that I do not remember, obviously. Is just intro. Open heart surgery. Full name. Yeah, just open heart surgery.
all right, so I can easily say I've never heard this from anything. So how it starts off. And for me, I'm like, man, this is definitely like super like biased. Like you're trying to win me over. Bret Hart's theme song being remixed, being sampled. I'm like, oh shit, okay. What are you gonna do with this one? Charles uses like similar flow to the song, I think it's Give It To Me by Timbaland, Justin Timberlake, and Nelly Furtado.
Oh my God, thank you, bro. All day I've been racking my brain. Like I know he's rapping like something. I could hear the song in my head. I was like, what is this? Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, so like I see what he did with that, whatever, and I'm like, it's actually not like a bad connection with that. I'm like, it actually goes together well with that type of
Mhm.
flow that he's using and with the type of beat it is. So I'm like, okay. He doesn't do anything crazy with the sample flip, and I don't think he need to because number one, that theme song for me, it's not even my favorite theme song. Like when we talk about wrestling, whatever. But of course, it's Bret the Hitman Hart, so you know how I feel about him.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you really don't have to add too much to that theme song because it's great by itself anyway. Um, Overall, I think it's good. I really like it. The only thing I would say, and this is just like a caveat, because you could tell this is recorded like early,
Yeah.
early on in Charles' career. I just
Mhm.
wish it was better quality, but it's one of those things where it's like, bro, like if he was recording this in like 2006, 2007, yeah, you got to start somewhere. You know what I mean? So everything isn't going to be the greatest of quality, but it's a good intro. I'm cool with it.
Yeah, we had the exact same bias thought process. When you hear that like you get automatically excited, especially if you're a long time wrestling fan, man. You just you're like, that's the guy. That's Bret the Hit My Heart. The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Like you start just ratting off all these different like quotes and stuff. You're like, you just fond memories. So I wanted to love this a lot. I didn't like it, man. I'm gonna be honest. I think part of it is that the flow that he used, because if you're not careful, especially with the amount of episodes we've done, you get into that you get into that game where it's like, oh, we're getting mixtape Charles, where he's rapping over people's beats and he's gonna try to rap like other people. And he's done this before on other tapes that we've done. and it didn't land. And I'm the one who made the connection. If Charles is doing something Justin Timberlake like related, it usually doesn't go well for me. This again to me continues the streak where it's like the beats fire. The beats fire, like I say, he doesn't need to do too much extra stuff to it. I just wish he went in a different direction. As far as how he attacked it, uh, the quality, it's whatever. I'm not worried about the sound quality too much. We're longtime fans, but I just wish that because it feels more like an attempt to make a a pop record than it is to actually do a Charles Hamilton song, if that makes sense. Um, so yeah, I think as far as an intro goes, as far as like setting them, you see the tape, Pink and Black Attack starts with a Bret Hart related track, perfect. I just don't know if it's for me.
That makes sense. Two things I wanted to add. Now I can see if someone didn't like it because of one other thing, his voice. Remember, like we always hear people say, "Oh, I don't like Charles Hampton. His voice is whiny." I could see someone be like, "Nope, I don't like it because the voice is being whiny." Like it's that's when people would say that all the time in like 2008. I could see that being like, okay, all right, I see what you mean by that. So I could see that turning some people off. And then like you said, it's like Charles making a pop song. At the same time, I know Charles has done this thing where he'll make pop songs on purpose, and then like I won't say he'll make them bad, but it's like him. It's more of him mocking it. You know what I mean? So this could have been a him. Oh, I'm mocking that song because it's actually kind of whack, whatever. That song, by the way, I'm not gonna lie. The original song by Timbaland and all them,
Yeah.
I love that song. I had it as a ringtone, like when it came out, dead ass. Like with my flip phone, I had it as a ringtone. That shit was fire. I'm sorry, but those are my opinions on it. But that's
No,
it.
I get it. I'm pretty sure I liked it too. It's just I'm trying to figure if I went back and if I listened to it today, would I have the exact same thought process? Because as we've gotten older, I feel like we go back and listen to some of the music, 2007, where we just listen to it and it's just like, nah, that wasn't good at all. We like Party Like a Rock Star. We like was hyping that.
No, don't say no we. I didn't like that. I
I'm
like
just talking
Van.
about the general consensus
Okay.
of the world because it hit the Billboard charts. It was high. And then like I listened to it recently. I was like, man, this shit is ass. I think that was like their only hit too. They may have had like an extra one, but it wasn't like that.
Nah,
Um,
I like Vans by the pack. I like Vans, but I did not like Party Like a Rockstar. And everyone looked at me crazy. I'm like, bro, y'all just hated on black people for dressing white, and now all y'all are wearing Vans and skater shoes and like the jeans with the chains on them and all. I'm like, no, y'all are fucking fake, and you're corny, and the song's whack. But
and that song created all the rappers that would come later. All your little Travis Scotts and Uzis who say I'm rock stars and not rappers. So that's another reason that I like that song. I saw that cover. That cover is horrendous. No, let me rephrase. Whatever you sent me, because I'm not calling it the cover either. Whatever you sent, that's the cover of a PowerPoint presentation.
listen, it's in the archive. It literally had pink is the pink, black, and then a picture of Sonic, like a clip art picture of Sonic from like Sonic '06 or something. I'm like, that's not a cover. Like that's
But to be fair, choosing Sonic 06 matches that vibe of that cover because Sonic 06 was also terrible.
yeah, well, there we go. So anyway, next song. The next song
Uh,
on this project.
yeah, next song is Green Lights. Like I said, you know where this came from. I know it's one of the either Crash Landing or Outside Looking, maybe both. But what do you got on it?
It's from Crash Landed. Just a
Got it.
freestyle. Kanye rapping on flashing lights or whatever. Good freestyle. He said that, forget the original, this one's better. And I listen, man. I actually Saturday night when I went out, DJ actually played Flashing Lights. Why did Kanye have to? Oh my God, bro! Like I heard Flashing Lights for the first time in a while, and I'm like, damn, bro. Like
Sorry, reminiscing.
I'm like, yeah, like when people talk about I want the old Kanye, I'm not even gonna say that. I want him to get his life together. That's what I'm gonna say. And I'm like, damn, this song is fire. Charles did a great job on his remix, but
Yeah,
I can't say it's better than the original. He did a good remix though. So
Charles has a few records where when I hear that song, I do think of his record first, but this ain't one. Flashing Lights is that's you kind of remember where you were when Flashlights came out, and then it was one of those songs where you know it was gonna play a lot, but you didn't care. Like you wanted to hear it again over and over again. But Charles does a great job on this. I think we talked about it on previously. So I can't remember if we did like best three or something on that episode, but if we didn't, good record, great raps. I love the record.
Definitely. Agree. Agree.
We followed that up with Order My Steps.
Atlantis and A. We've talked about it. It's weird because I think on some of these songs, you might see a version of it on YouTube that say remix, and it's like, this isn't a remix. Like it's not like there's different verses or anything like that. Maybe there's like some added vocals or something, but like maybe the original one was a rough draft or something. But
Yeah.
this is on the Lance and A. I like the song. Never had an issue with it. Shout out to Lance and A, but already talked about it.
Love the Atlantis name, but I remember this not being one of my favorite songs. Um, Still feel the same way. You bring up a good point about how like sometimes when you look up something it's like, oh, remix to da 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 da. Remember back in the day where like the way to like really hype up a song on YouTube's like so and so Charles Hampton all caps exclamation mark star 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 2006. Like they would be like make it seem like it's a whole new song. Like bro, it's not new. Like you just a YouTube channel trying to get a, you know what I'm saying? It's weird. Or like when you used to download files or whatever. From what you used to download files? Did you used to use LimeWire? I used to remember Jam Glue.
I, God damn, now I
Yeah,
do.
right,
I didn't, but now I did. I was like, oh man, oh my God.
bro. What Jam Glue was? Yo, I was a fiend with Jam Glue. Just type in your favorite rapper and just a bunch of stuff. Now sometimes you got somebody snuck in some of that shit and oh it's Charles Hampton. Then it's like Charles Hampton for like the hook, and then they start rapping. I'm like, bro, get this shit out of here. But that was a time, bro.
I tried not to do that too much when I was on YouTube. Like if I put like a remix out and I like just added my verse in there, I would like literally like have my verse probably first, and then you hear the rest of the song. That was my bait. It's like you gotta hear my verse first, and
Yeah.
then you can hear the rest of it. But you know what I mean? I didn't try to like sneak something in the middle or put it at the end because they're gonna be, oh, who the fuck is this guy? Fuck out of here. So
People of the River. I don't think we've spoke about this one.
we have not, no. I remember I think I told you on an episode where I would get Rivers in Reverse and People of the River mixed up. I remember saying that because just the river thing, whatever. But usually when I would bring up any type of song with the river, this is the one I would be talking about.
Yeah. Um, I've always loved this record. I think this is one of those ones that kind of go under the radar because I guess other than this, I don't know where this landed on a project. I don't know if this was the designated spot. Because it seems like a lot of these are songs from other tapes just thrown together. So I'm wondering where this actually ended up on. The beat's so country bumpkinish, hip hopish extra. Kind of gives me I haven't said his name in a while either. Like some Bubba Sparks vibes. You know what I'm saying? Um, but Charles does a great job with that. I love the hook on here. Uh, and he talks some serious stuff, especially on that third verse. You know, just some really good stuff all overall. Like it's good early Charles raps. I'll say that. It's a good record.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where this was supposed to be at, but I do know on YouTube there's a video of like Charles. It's probably like Charles, Nate, and Show, or at least Charles and Nate were like they were performing this song like somewhere, and it's one of those things where I think I first heard the song from that video, not the actual audio of the song. Where I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
I've never heard this song before. When is this coming out? I think I would try to look it up at the time, and then like it wasn't out yet, and I'm like, okay, this is an unreleased song or something like that. I don't know, but at the same time, like you said, you heard it. It's definitely an older song that like Charles and them had, but didn't really put out as much. Or they're like, we're gonna wait to put this out on something else, and maybe it just on certain projects he was thinking about putting it on. It's like, it doesn't fit. We'll go to another tape. It didn't fit really here either, and then one of those type of deals. So it's like But for this song, I said that it had like a weird and funky vibe, but I dig it. Like you said, the country bumpkin type deal. The flow is nice, the hook is catchy. Um, the only thing I would say is I think a little bit on, and I think it's because the way I watched it when he performed it live,
Mhm.
on whatever channel it was, like he had more energy. So when you actually hear just the regular verse, it's just like, okay, it's him doing the not like he's being too lazy, but it's like he could have had a little bit more energy in the song,
Sure.
especially when you hear the end of the song where he's just messing around in the studio doing that. He's just, having fun in the studio. It's one of those
Yeah.
things where like you can tell he had fun in the studio, but it's like okay, for the verses, it kind of sound like he's just like, I call it reading off the paper. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like it's one of those things like if you don't have that was the thing I struggle with when I first would record music. I'd read off the paper and I'm like, oh yeah, the flow's nice, but I don't have like enough enthusiasm. You know what I mean? So sometimes it sounds like he has a bit of enthusiasm for the song, but not enough. For the hook, it sounds fine. But other than that, it's a good song though. I like the song.
In those instances when you were learning how to rap, after you did the paper read, we'll just call it that, right? Was it as easy as going back and redoing it with the energy, or what was your maturation process as far as that goes?
So I think the first song I ever recorded was called "You Can't Blame Hip Hop," and it was actually I had to write a song for. Long story short, for college, I did this thing where I was like, oh, the things hip hop gets blamed for and whatnot, and they say, oh, this. So they said, okay, well, you got after you write a paper, you have to do some type of like something for it.
Yep.
So my teacher's like, oh, well, since you're talking about rap music, you should do a rap song or something. I'm like, and this is like no one knows I rap. I really don't tell people I rap. So I'm like, damn, I gotta like rap a song. And I did a cappella for them, but what I was doing was I write everything down, I read it off, and then like for that first song, I'm like, okay, cool. But then I think my engineer was kind of telling me, oh, it's better if you could memorize your verses. So what you should try to do, you know, get some good reads in and still read all the paper if you don't memorize it in your head, but
Yeah.
just kind of know what's next. So it became a thing where I'd be like, all right, well, I'm bringing this in and I'm going to, while I'm home, I'm going to like read off and practice. So that became a thing. I was still reading, but I just practiced like how I wanted to sound. And then like when I go into the booth, I would already like know the words, but like I know exactly how I want to say them. And it became a thing of like songs taking less and less time to like do because like, oh, now I got the confidence and I know how I want to sound because when people would tell me, oh, you sound monotone,
Hmm.
you sound like this when you're rapping. And I'm like, no, I don't. I did, but you just don't know.
Yeah. All right. And like I said, you could definitely tell the more inflections in your music as you got older, but we can't compare it because you refuse to let us hear the old stuff. Always got to bring that up. Let's see. Next up on our list, we have Come Around, the freestyle that we heard on. Don't remember.
Your favorite series, man. We
How
we
is it?
yeah, we gotta do that fourth one. I'm always bring that on up for you. But I believe it's from binge too. I think it's actually
Okay.
from yeah.
Yeah, the Come Around again. We've done this one. It's a very good freestyle. Mr. One Take actually probably did it in one take this time. It sounded like it. Great. No really mess up those skips. Good record.
Yeah, definitely one of those times where Charles said, hey, I'm gonna do this in one take and I'm gonna be for real about it. I'm gonna make sure it's fire. And it was good. So I'm like, okay, cool. One of the highlights I would say from my bench too. But like we said, we already heard it, but it's good.
Glad y'all brought up Binge too, because we got to talk about that later. Um, you don't know.
So with this song, I would say this is the first time I heard it from this project. I don't think I heard it from anywhere else. So it's probably the first time I actually heard it. Um, Classic sample from 90s R&B. I Love Your Smile by Shanice, I believe. Really nice flip. I remember when I first heard it come in, I'm like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? And then nice shout out to Jay and Eminem because Charles, I think on the second verse, he does the excuse me, miss. He does a
Hmm.
little borrow from there. And then on the end of the third verse, he borrows from Eminem doing the drug ballad song. So I'm like, okay, it's like if you know, you know. Um, but yeah, the song with this song is really nice. It's good. It's one of those things where I wrote down, I'm like, you know what? I kind of miss Charles doing songs like this. I think I was talking to Charles earlier about this, where when Charles would flip and sample songs, like doing these simple type of samples, where it's not like too much adding, he's not overly chopping a beat. It's
Hmm.
like it was enjoyable because if you knew the song, like, oh, I know the song, I know where this came from, and then certain bars he's doing, it's like, oh, I know where that comes from. So it's like it's something where you can be like, oh, I know, I'm in the know, so I get it.
Right.
You get it. We get it. But then with some songs now, Charles, of course, he picks like obscure samples and whatnot, which is fine. So if the music's good, the music's good. But when he starts talking about Sega and Aliens, Dilla, and
Hmm.
then then it's I told him I'm like it basically becomes like an inside joke with just you and you only, and none
Yeah.
of us know it. And it's like, yeah, y'all get it, y'all no, we haven't. You've never talked to us
Right.
about it, so you never no, we don't get it, So, but it's one of those things where, like I said, I kind of miss when Charles would do something like this because it's like it's just the references. You get
Mhm.
certain references. It's like okay, just you're in the know. So, but yeah, it's a good song. I like it.
That's a really good point. I think beats now range on between from amazing chopped to maybe overly chopped. Um, and like you said, it's not the selection for the samples isn't necessarily readily known. Like he has to kind of coach you on like what this is, and you kind of have to if you're in the know, like you can get a conversation with him where he's sampling live on the phone, something like that, where you can kind of understand where he's coming from. This type of record, like I feel like this one, when I think of this record, I think of Pretty Brown Eyes as well, where it's like you know the sample and he doesn't do too much to it, right? And so it's like you say, you feel like you're in let in on the joke. Whereas, like you were saying, when it's more of the obscure stuff, it's like it's locked behind a paywall, right? And so like you don't you it's cool, the beat's fine, but it's like you're still searching for the connection for it. And this one's an easy connection to make. I love this record. I've always loved this record. I love the second verse with the Jay-Z flip that he does, as far as the verse rapping. He really does. When he wants to channel Jay with some of his rap styles, he's really good. I was listening to Angel's Aneurysm recently and reminded of that verse. Fucking crazy. Um, but good record, man. Good record. Yeah, I still don't I wish I knew, like I said, where this was from, but I just don't remember. Good record though.
Yeah, yeah, but same here. Like I said, just I like I said, I don't. If it is from something else, I didn't see it. It skipped my vision. So I'm like I didn't see it from anywhere else. So this is like the only time I heard it from this project. So for me, I'm gonna say it's from this project.
Fair. Next up is Balance.
So this one is a little we've never talked about the song, but if you're an OG StarCHaser, you know the song. So this is gonna be our first time I'll say talking about it.
Hmm.
This is from I think it's like where's the CH process? And I'm going to say when I heard it, it was Lucy because on YouTube it says this project came out of December of 2011. You go on YouTube and look up the song. There's a video from like January of 2011, early in the year, March of
Hmm.
2011. But like I said, when I first heard it, it was a Lucy. And then some places call it falling imbalance. Um, I want to say, I know I had it written on here. Oh no, but yeah. Um, I'll say this. This for me might be the best song on here. I think it's the best song. Sample Flip's amazing. Charles really smooth with the lyrics. Everything just goes well with the song. But um, yeah, I would say this is like one of those songs where it's like I can see why it was Lucy, and then it's like you want to put it on something, but it's one of those things
Hmm.
where it's like it's a really good song. So if this is a song that got leaked earlier, whatever the case is, it's like I see why. But yeah, I would say this is the best song on here.
Okay. You bet the best song, not necessarily your favorite.
No, not I wouldn't say my favorite, no, but
Got it. Um, I'll say this. It was my surprise pick of the tape. I went into this. I can't rem I've seen this song a lot. I just don't remember it as much. I may have played it a little bit and was like, this is for me. But
wow.
yeah. But having listened to it a few times recently, I was like, this is good. This is a good tape, good kind of. I like the progression through each verse, and then the hook is pretty good too. I think that's where it really takes off because the hook is simple, but it's very kind of complex at the same time. Kind of similar to the way he does when he kind of does a repeating type of thing, where it's like he's saying the same word a lot, but he's saying it in different ways, so it carries a different meaning throughout each verse or whatever, or each bar. So yeah, I think going in, I wasn't gonna be a fan, but I came away as this is okay. This is good.
I was hooked by the intro of the beat. Like when I first heard it, like I said, I
Mm.
think I was just scrolling on YouTube at the time, whatever, and I'm like, oh, what's this? And then I'm like, oh man, like I said, the whole song to me is just smooth. But at the same time, like I just remember like I think when I first heard it, it was called Falling in Balance. So I don't know if it's called just balance or falling in balance, but I always call it falling in balance. So like when I first heard it again, I'm like, this went by a different name. And of course, we've noticed that's even with this project, that's a lot with some
Yeah,
other songs. But that's almost it with this song. But yeah, fire song.
and just out of curiosity, to you, you took away that falling in balance, but you just basically like kind of like falling in love, right? That's how I felt. Like balance, when you lose your balance, that means you always falling, which means to me, people fall in love. Like I feel like he's always falling in love quickly or falling in love. He's susceptible to falling in love consistently or constantly. That's what I took from it, at least for as far as the hook goes.
When I first heard the song, like I didn't even think about it like that. Oh, also, let me make sure I say it, because he references Jay-Z again. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Honestly, at 23, that was, Jay said that. So Hove did that. So hopefully Charles will have to go through that. No, no, no. Remix, no. But nah, but yeah, I guess you can see it like that. I know when I first heard the song, like I didn't even pay attention to the lyrics or whatever, because I'm like, yo, this beat is crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, when Charles has these songs and I'm thinking about it, a lot of these songs when he is talking about love, and he's taking these songs and samples that we know, and he's not doing too much with it. He's just enhancing it a bit. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like those songs usually go by a similar like a recipe. It's like, hey, I'm gonna talk about love, and either I'm talking about this person or this girl, and maybe our trials and tribulations, or what I'm trying to do with her, relationship wise, and trying to
Mhm.
take it to the next level. But yeah, it makes sense because, like I said, Charles loves talking about love, or at least at this point in his career. Maybe now, maybe not as much, but at this point, yeah, definitely. So it makes sense.
Say no to rehab follows that up.
All right. Easily I can say this. No. I agree. Say no to rehab, but I'm also saying no to this song. Like, so I think I see what Charles is trying to do with it. You know what I mean? But no, I'm not feeling it. It's too much going on with the beat. I can't focus on the lyrics. And then even when you are listening to the lyrics, I'm like, there's there's nothing that these bars and the song can do to like actually uplift it. I'm like, it's just too much noise going on. It's just like he just sounds like he just crammed everything into one. And I feel like with the hook, he was talking about, just like stop everything and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, maybe that's what it is. Like maybe it's like it could be like the paranoia, the psychosis, all the trouble, drama, like everything swirling in his head, and it's like making him want to scream out. And I'm like, okay, but once again, we talked about this before. Sometimes some of those ideas like that sounds good on paper, but like when it comes sonically or audio wise, no. But yeah, I can easily say no. This is a skip every time. I heard it like to do this podcast, do this episode, but if I ever go back to listen to this project, instant skip. I have no reason to go back to this song. Don't like it at all.
So disappointing this song, bro. I wanted to love this song. I think anybody who knows me knows that Amy Winehouse is one of my favorite singers of all time, if not my favorite singer of all time. I just thought carried so much like she had a lot of pain in her shit, you know what I'm saying? But it always came out in the music, and it sucks, but it's probably the seasoning that made it great. Um, when I heard it, I knew he was gonna sample. I was like, oh, this is about to be fire. And then it's just not, bro. Like you said, everything's just like on top of each other. Like it really culminates once the hook comes in because like you can hear the sample in the back, you can hear the beat clashing on top of it, and then the hook is also clashing. You can barely hear everything that's going on. It's just it's too much. I feel like we talked about how in these couple of these previous songs where take the song, enhance it, maybe not do too much. I wish he had done that, took that route and maybe this would have been a little bit more palatable, at least been an okay song. But yeah, this is, I'm like you, it's just gonna be one where I'll probably end up skipping it.
It's unfortunate because, like you said, Charles and Amy have that in common where like they've gone through a lot of pain and whatnot, and that's one thing that might have made their music better because you can relate to it or you can just feel the emotion. But with this,
Mhm.
I don't necessarily feel that in the song. I like I said, it's a lot of stuff going on. I'm like, nah. So.
Um, Naked is next.
Oh man. I don't know if this is actually from Project. I remember one of the first times I heard it, I think it was just like a Lucy on YouTube at the time or something like that. Whatever.
I remember this as a two pack. It was this song, and it was the jump with not Little Wayne, Young Nate, Ladybug.
Okay. So I remember hearing Ladybug, but I didn't hear Naked with Ladybug. I was not here looking at naked ladybugs, you know what I mean? That's whoever wants to do that, that's fine. Do your thing, you know what I mean? But you know, so nah, but I remember this I heard Ladybug with a bunch of other songs like early, and then I
Hmm.
heard like Naked later, you know what I mean? Marcus Houston sample flip, whatever.
Hmm.
That song's cool, you know what I mean? Um, it's one of those things where like I've always liked Marcus Houston's music and also Immature, the group he's in before,
Yep.
you know what I mean? But this song was all right. I think I used to like it more when I first heard it,
Hmm.
and part of me singing is like nostalgia. And I said on here, nostalgia has revealed a lot with old, unheard CH songs. So I feel like at the time when like there are certain songs that Charles had that came out, got leaked, whatever, it's like, oh, no one's heard this before. So part of you is just like, I like it because I like it, but also, oh, I've heard this, but so and so hasn't heard this, and this is
Yeah.
like an unkept gem, and So then now I'm hearing it now, and it's like, okay, there's been so many other songs we've heard since, and it's like, okay, this song I felt probably was like great back then, but now I'm like, it's cool, it's all right, it's going down just because like the heat has cooled it down. Where it's like, okay, it's not as crazy as I thought it was, but it's okay. So, but I'm cool with the song. I still like it, but just not as much as I did when I first heard it.
Yeah, I think I'm on that wavelength. It's okay. Like it's a I would be okay if I never heard it again. Not to say that it's a bad song. It's just one of those ones where it's like, this was a moment in time. I remember this. It's like you said, you heard it and you like, if you got to talk to other Charles Hamilton fans, like, have you heard this? When he flipped, when he did a thing over Marcus Houston's jump, he's like, what? No, you can you felt like you were putting somebody on. At the song though, it's okay. Um, yeah, it's not bad. It's better than Icebox, which he flipped over his brother, not brother. I don't remember. Their family's weird. But like it was better.
They got served. That's the only thing I know. Them
They
suckers
did
got
get served. They absolutely do get served. They got a lot of issues going on. Marcus Houston,
Chris Stokes, all them, man.
yeah,
Whatever.
they got a lot of issues going on. Anyway, it's okay. Fun fact about Naked. Uh, they played that song at my prom.
Yo, no way. Ain't
Bro,
no
I swear to
way.
God. And listen, so you know how like as you get older, right? You have like a more like your mind goes to like, damn, you'll hear something, you like instantly be like, why the fuck would they play this right now? That's weird. So at 36, I'm like, yeah, that's my exact thought. But I remember at 18, I was like, why the fuck are they playing this song? I was like, y'all, y'all are mad when people are doing the twerking on each other, and so your thought process is to play naked. Like, I mean, for some of us, for sure, that's about to happen later. But like, it's crazy. Why would you play that?
Yeah, I think it is wild now because I've had a couple of his albums, whatever. I'm pretty sure I had that one. That wasn't really one of my favorite songs from there. There's some other songs that I like better than Naked. But yeah, they played like all rap and R&B at our prom, but nah, definitely not that song. But that's definitely I would have been like, yo, they're playing this right now, like for real, like y'all like crazy because literally that's what he's talking about the whole song, get naked and obviously fucking, you know what I mean? So that's crazy.
Whatever, man. It was so weird. Um, way cool, way cool freestyle.
All right, so I know that I definitely heard this previously, and I was looking everywhere. I'm like, dog, I've heard this. I know I heard this multiple times. And if this wasn't on a project, don't know. Don't know. I feel like, and this is the thing that sucks because I can't prove it, but I remember, I want to say what project was it? Um, it's the project, I want to say whatever project it was that had Swaggless Swag, Two Left Feet. Was that Sonic and Hamilton? I could be
It
wrong.
is. Yep.
Okay. So, oh, I fact check you. Is it? No, no, but no, but seriously, I could have sworn because there's like this interview that Charles had with like MTV News at the time when he was promoting himself, like in 2008 with that project. And I felt like there's like an interview that Charles had where like they were trying to promote that song or something. But anyway, all that shit's gone. It's scraped on the internet. You're never gonna find that, unfortunately. But I know I heard the song multiple times. So way cool. It's if you know, you know, we know. Once again, we're like repeating ourselves a lot. We're doing what Charles is doing, you know, repeating himself a lot. I'm minding my business stuff. Um, but this is from was it Clarissa Explains It All, the theme song, whatever. So another theme song. If you're from the if you're a 90s kid, you already know it. So he doesn't do anything crazy with it, but he just flips it, he just raps on it. He has a good energy with it. And this is I think what I was talking about earlier. Just like, oh wow, he flipped this. Oh,
Hmm.
he flipped it. Oh, he flipped this too. He flipped this. So it was just like really exciting to see where it's like, oh man, like this guy can flip anything. And
Yep.
then he raps on it, and then he like adapts to whatever it is. So it's not like he's rapping the same thing on every different flip. It's like, oh,
Hmm.
he's talking about being way cool or being chill. So this song works. I can see this being like a top favorite though. When I
Yeah.
look this up, it just says this is a Lucy, I guess, because I think what you talked about earlier, Charles Hamilton, new 2009, way cool freestyle or something like that. But that's the only thing I saw. It's a Lucy, but I definitely remember hearing the song a lot. So this is one of those like trivia things I'd say, like, oh, have you ever heard this song before? Do you know where this theme song is? So, but this is a really good song.
This is weird because I know that I'm like you. I know I've seen this before, but I don't remember liking the song.
Okay,
I don't remember liking the song, and maybe it's just how the beat started, and I didn't get to the what's it called. But I'm pretty sure at some point I listened to it in full, so I'm not sure why I don't remember it. Um, but that Clarissa flip is come on, man. Again, if you're a '90s kid, you basically gonna get hooked by the song. You're gonna be like at least by the beat, right? And then like he's like rapping, and like the hook is kind of like a call and response to what's going on in the sample. So that's fun. And then after the first verse, I was like, bro, I've heard this. Like I know
oh
I've
yeah,
heard
yeah. I was waiting for
like
you to say it. I am going to say it. I want you to say it. So,
I
okay.
think I heard this song. I was like, man. But even in the intro when he's doing the thing, he's like, never hit the same bar. So I was like, there's no way. This is from I want to say this is the reflective L from Binge Volume 2.
Again,
And what we had said was at the time, damn, it feels like this song is very incomplete. And it sounds like this is actually where the song is supposed that verse is supposed to be. Um so that was kind of cool to see. And then just, he does the same thing with the third verse, has like a little the that part is the bridge, but then goes to another verse. This is cool. This is kind of another surprising pick of the tape. I don't know why I remember this not liking this, but I like this record. It's cool.
and the one thing that is a cool callback is because even when this song came out, like let's say 2009, whenever it got leaked, when he does do the never spit the same bar twice, oh, y'all need to know where that's from. Technically, we didn't because we didn't get the binge two until like years later. So
Yeah.
when you probably hear the binge two and then you go back to this, it's like, oh, so that's where that's from. But also at the same time, if you didn't hear this and it's not on the project, you might have missed way cool. So then you're just like, oh, so it's kind of like two cars or two boats passing in night, and then you're just like, oh, I just didn't even catch that at all. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's for the people that did know, it's like, oh, okay, you kind of got the missing puzzle piece because you've been looking for it for a while, and then you kind of got to put the puzzle together now.
Yeah. That was fun to find out. That was a pleasant surprise as I was listening to this tape. Um this song next is important more never ever.
So we oh so I guess we've technically talked about this song before, but I don't know if we've ever talked about it on like an actual like episode where it was like, hey, this is from this project or that
Right.
project. When I looked it up, it says Starlight, the Starlight Zone project. We never talked
Hmm.
about that one yet. Um, also because that I think that project, it's a shorter project, but it has songs that are from other songs and projects too. And then
Yep.
Power of Illumination. So I think that's the one
That's
I
where I remember it from.
that's where I heard that from, but we never talked about that before. So I'll say this because some people call it more important, some people call it important, some people call it never ever because it has like three different names, but they're
Yeah.
all the same song. I'll say this. If we haven't talked about the song, I'll say, oh, you know what? I know what you mean now. No. This would technically be my favorite. I don't know if I'd say this is the best song, but I'm gonna say this is my favorite. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So because I'm like, you know what I mean? Because I just remember when I first heard the song, I'm like, yeah, I really fuck with the song. Um, Charles Smooth on there again or whatever. It's just I don't want to say high energy, but it's high vibrational song. You know what I mean? Just
Sure.
talk about love and whatnot, whatever, in a good mood. It's one of them songs where oh, I think we put this on the love playlist. So I think
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's the only time we actually kind of talked about it, but we didn't really talk about it before. But I'll forever love this song. It's a really good song by Charles.
Yeah, I have this as the best and my favorite song of the tape. I think it's that good. I think it's another example, a lot of examples on this tape of just taking a sample that's kind of recognizable, not doing too much extra to it, and kind of letting and kind of playing around or like wrapping around that sample. I think he does a great job of that. Uh, really good verses. Again, that beat's just really smooth. Like I said, good call calling it high vibrational. And I think that's really what you can take from this song. One that you could play probably daily, honestly. I think it'll put you in a good mood, kind of get you, calm your nerves or whatever, especially if you got the jitters or maybe have like a little too much excitement. It kind of brings you back down. I like this record really a lot.
Definitely, definitely.
Obviously we told you about the Warm Hamilton Eyes. That's the next track. And then the final actual song on the tape is Brighter Days. Make sure I get the full thing. Brighter Days, the post school.
Let me ask you this because you are you said English major.
I
Fuck
am.
is a post school? I've heard of prequel. I've heard of sequel. I've never heard of a post school before.
Uh, we learn something new every day, man. I've never heard this in my life. So,
I can't tell you this. I've heard of the squeakle. You know, what I mean, when you
yeah,
with
I
your
have
girl,
heard the squeakle. Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
squeakle. You with your girl, you just, you know. but yeah, post school. I don't know. It's like post the sequel. You know what I mean? But then I don't know. I'm gonna let it
Yeah,
go.
I don't know. I don't know. It's like when Lupe did a freestyle. He was like, "Yo, to answer, that's sometimes you got the question, you have to set the answers, but then you got to put them together. You got quances." I was like, Lupe,
Come on, man.
I was like, mm-mm. I'm gonna say it and I'm gonna rap it, but like,
I get it. So anyway, so I'm like, okay. I think when I first heard this, I'm like, all right, Brighter Days. I remember Brighter Days from Pink Lava Lamp. So
Mhm.
what is this going to be? Is it going to be like that feeling, or is it going to be like maybe something like slower? Maybe something maybe negative, or it's like, hey, I'm not having brighter days. This is what happens after a bright day. It's going to be a dark day. No, this is just another drunk night, the sober version. I can tell you
Mhm.
that. But I know the drunk version or whatever is the one where it has the effects in it, but this doesn't have that. So this is just another drunk night from Atlantis and A. So
Mhm.
I'm like, I like that song, but this is not brighter days. But maybe that's what that is supposed to be. I don't know why this got called that. I don't know what the story is behind that. Maybe Charles could, let us know. But I've always liked just another drunk. I might have one tonight. Who knows? We'll see. I'm not going to be smoking though. Ain't no smoke over here.
Yeah, that's true. No smoke. It's fine. I don't remember what I said in the Atlantis and A one. I think I was like, I think I was more concerned with it being two songs of basically the same name, slightly altered, and couldn't figure out what the difference was. So I think I'm just like, it's fine. I'm not gonna be mad if I don't hear it again. It's fine.
Yeah, I agree. Also, one thing I did notice, because of course the last thing is Speak No Louder instrumental, but you completely skipped over Speak No Louder. I did want to talk about that. We didn't get
How
to
the
talk
hell
about
did I do that? Where did I skip it over? Let's see.
Say No to Rehab and then Naked. Like you got so hyped about getting naked, you know what I mean? You're like, oh boy, I'm about to get naked.
That
Bitch,
is kind of
volume
crazy.
four. Bitch, volume four.
Maybe I do want to listen to Binge Volume 4. I don't know what's up with me. Um, yeah, we did skip. It's right in between Say No to Rehab and Naked. So yes, Speak No Louder.
All right, so we've talked about this because once again, Atlantis and A. It's from Atlantis and A. So here's the crazy part. This song is from My Heart, but we know that My Heart didn't come out when it was supposed to come out.
Right.
It's from Atlantis and A, but also it's from Where Is Charles Hamilton Part Two. So if we're counting this project, that's four projects as well.
Hmm.
Technically, it's technically two and two because on My Heart and Atlantis and A, this is considered Speak No Louder remix. And then this version, and then the one on Where's Charles Hampton Part Two, like the fan tape,
Hmm.
I guess or
Yeah.
whatever. Um, the difference is this version is like I call it a rough draft. And the thing I noticed, because like when I still listen to this whole tape and like the full, I'm like, all right, I remember Speak No Louder. I like the song, so I'm gonna let it play. When we got into the hook, I'm like, why does the hook sound different? And I remember because like when you hear this version, like I said, it's like a rough draft because you don't hear Charles with the backing vocals when he sings or whatever. I'm like,
Mm.
this just doesn't sound like how it's supposed to. So I had to go
Right.
back to Drinks and A and the other tapes. I'm like, okay, this is how I remember it. The verses sound the same, but I'm like the backing vocals and the extra stuff he added to it. I'm like,
Hmm.
yeah, it's not the full version. So I still like Speak No Louder, but I'm not a fan of this rough draft version. I'll say it's not bad, but I'm like, but once you've heard the other version, where it's like, okay, it sounds better. You know,
Yeah.
it sounds like it's more complete. I have no reason to go back to this one. You know what I mean? So, but still a good song. But like, you're just better off listening to it on My Heart or Atlantis Tonight.
Yeah. I think again, same way I felt before. I know this is a song that everybody kind of loves. I know it's a very it's a popular song. Um, I was never into it. I think it's okay. The beat's fire. Um, Nothing wrong with the rap, and the raps are very powerful. I just it's as a song that I want to listen to. It's just not up there for me. So yeah, same as always. Four is four track. I think that's what we. This is the second time we've had a song where it's been on like four different projects. I can't remember what the last one was that we did.
I can't either, but I was noticing that with this song. I'm like, there's another song that we've had that with, and I'm like, geez, you know what I mean? So I'm like, and then we're not even counting if it's a Lucy, because then that's technically it's on five different areas, one by
Yeah.
itself. It's in four different tapes. So
Um. Anything else before we give our reviews for this tape?
no, I'm ready. I'm ready to review.
All right, let's do it then. We just listened to Excess of Execution, also known as the Pink and Black Attack, in 2025. So let us know what you're going to do as far as a review, any pros and cons, and the character rating you are going to give it today, Mike.
So looking back at all these songs, I'll be honest, there's really there's really only one skip on here. The only one skip, so say no to rehab.
Mhm.
The only other songs I would technically skip would be like the instrumentals. You know what I mean? Because I'm just one of the people where like if I'm listening to a tape, I might not want to listen to like instrumentals in the middle of a tape. But if I'm talking about just like complete skip, like I've not listened to that ever.
Mhm.
One. So here's the deal. This project, it's full of songs that are on other projects. Like we've heard us say, like Atlantis and A multiple times. My
Mhm.
Heart. Oh, this is from Binge 2, or whatever the case is. Um, and like I said, some of them have been repeated multiple times, not just always on one project, it's on four.
Mhm.
Um, but the songs that aren't repeating or we don't know where they're from, if they're just like a Lucy or it's just from here, as far as we know, they're good. Another's well, other than Say No to Rehab, but the other one's completely fine. I'd play those anytime. Um, I think it's just one of those things where these unreleased songs, I think they just didn't have a home, and they're from the early Charles Hamilton days, where like Charles wanted them somewhere and just couldn't figure out where to put them, and just decided, hey, I'm just going to drop these here because I've been sitting on them for long enough.
Mhm.
Um, Overall, though, like the problem is like when this tape came out, and if you're a OG Star Chaser like us, we've heard most of these before already. So it's like half the tape I already heard because of this, and this. For
Mhm.
I'd say newer fans that aren't as familiar with the old content, this might be a better tape for you because you could be like, oh, well, I've never heard these songs. So, I like it. I might like it a little bit more. For me, I think I'm going to give it a knuckles because of that. Because, like I said, there's good music on there. There's the good and the bad. But I think the bad is that it's a repeat offender of songs already on other tapes. Honestly, I could just easily go listen to and for some of these songs, or I could go listen to binge tube. So it's like there's a handful of songs I'm like, oh, you know what? I haven't heard in a while. I'll go to the excellence of execution. But other than that, I'm like, I'll just go to a different tape to listen to it in full, and then hear those other songs that aren't part of that. So, but I'm gonna say Knuckles.
Yeah, good point about if you are a Charles Hamilton fan that kind of came later and maybe you didn't haven't gone back to some older stuff, this is probably a great tape for you because it is full of tapes that as OG Star Chasers we found as Lucy's were made fan tapes were some of the tapes that, didn't get released until much later. So I think for them it's perfect. For just a cat like a Star Chaser, I don't know. It's like you said, you can find a lot of these on different tapes, and you should just go to those tapes. I would much rather listen to Atlanta A. I'd much rather listen to Binge Volume 2. You know what I'm saying? And Crash Landing. I want to go listen to those tapes, right? And then like I'll find that song, but I'm like, let me listen to the rest of this tape. This one is for me. I know you said there's only one skip here. There are songs that they might not be skips per se, but they are songs where I'm like, I'd be okay if I never heard it again, or if it's a one in a blue moon type of thing, not something I'm gonna try to daily listen to. Um, I'm also going Knuckles just for that reason, because I just feel like it's for me and my listening taste, it's kind of up and down. It's like I'll get excited and I'm like, this is cool, and then same thing, it's just up down as far as like uh my interest and my intrigue as far as the songs goes. Not a bad tape per se, but as we say, it just feel like there's something better. Like there's something better here. Like inconsistent, find a better tape, or in this case, find the tapes that they're actually on.
Totally agree. Um, Hit it right on the head. You got it.
Um, but let us know what you think of Excellence of Execution. Let us know how you feel as an album or as a mixtape, and let us know what your favorites were. Be sure to subscribe over to YouTube, Star Chaser Central. You can also follow us on Twitter, Star CH Central. You can also follow us on our individual pages. I'm a Stick Around 54, STIK Around 54 on Twitter and Instagram. Mike, where can they find you, buddy?
On Instagram, the Mike Jackson, Mike Jackson. On Twitter, Mike D Jackson, Mike D Jackson. That's one D, two E's, all that. Make sure you guys are following Charles on Twitter at Charles Hamilton. Let me say this now. Wow, we have this platform. Not sure. Well, you guys will see this, Wednesday. But this is very recent. So he just posted about a new GoFundMe. Needing some assistance. Having some trouble. You know what I mean. So if you guys can donate, please donate. Check out the GoFundMe. Also, if you have his what is it? The not PayPal. I'm drawing a blank here. I hate that app.
Catch up.
Thank you, Cash App. You have Cash App. Go hit them up on there, whatever. So if you can donate, donate. Thank you. But also, I already said that. Follow him on Twitter. Um, oh, YouTube. Subscribe to him on YouTube at the talented Mr. Hamilton. You already know recently Charles has been going live pretty frequently, a little bit more than usual. You know what I mean? And that might be one of the reasons where, trying to provide y'all with some entertainment. And it's like, hey, y'all can help out, help out. And then, of course, he has new music on the way. He's always working on music, if you didn't know. He just haven't released it yet. So maybe we might see some new music soon, just to help out with the bills. Last but not least, if you're not in tune, make sure you are checking out the blog, enterthehamilton.blogspot.com. There it is.
Yeah, just want to make sure that Charles is good, man. So if you can and are able, please donate and help our guy out. He's given us a lot over the years, so be really dope if you could help out with that. Um, As far as we go, if you want to want us to review something, let us know what you want us to review, any topics, tapes, you know, subjects that you want us to tackle. We'll try to tackle those because we're all about doing the good, the bad, and the ugly. Um, but yeah, other than that, I think it was a good episode today. Mike, you have anything for the people before we head out?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Thank you guys for checking out another episode. By the time you guys already see this, Cinco de Mayo is over. So, hopefully you didn't eat too many tacos and burritos and then didn't OD with the smoke, as Charles would say. But, and then be careful with drinking. If you're going to drink, drink responsibly. Don't drink if you're underage, because I'm sure there's probably a handful of StarCHasers that are underage. So it's like, hey, if you are, don't be drinking. Don't smoke either. You know what I mean? Don't smoke if you're underage either for that. So.
I'm not gonna tell you to not do that because that would be hypocritical of me. But I will say, if you are gonna do it responsibly. That's really the key. Yeah, and maybe do some research about what actually Cinco de Mayo is about instead of just infringing on people's cultures. Yeah, that's all I got, man. We are logging out the Star Trek Central podcast, where we always encourage you to follow your dreams.
And reach for the stars.
It's important that I let you know.